Hey everyone, Simon back again today for the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment. And I have a couple stories for you here today. The first one is about Kamala Harris and some new legislation that she's brought forth. Pretty interesting. Before I get into the story, as usual, I'll say give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps people find this kind of content further down the road when they go to look for it. So, as I mentioned, Kamala Harris has introduced legislation where she wants to let illegal aliens to work for Congress. So, pretty interesting, and kind of shows you what her agenda is all about. So the story goes, 2020 presidential hopeful Kamala Harris, a Democratic senator from California, is introducing legislation that would allow illegal aliens to work in Congress. Now, Harris lives in the state of California, which has the most DACA recipients in the entire country. So she's making it her priority to appeal to those people rather than to the tax-paying citizens in her own state and in the United States, in our country. Now, she also introduced legislation that targets ICE detention centers for more oversight, which would basically allow more control for the liberal and leftists there, so they can do whatever they want, with all the illegals that are streaming over here through the southern border. And as you know, Trump has threatened to close the entire southern border if he doesn't get, more help from Mexico keeping illegals out of here. So he's since kind of backed off of that claim, but, I think he's got to do what he's got to do to protect the country, in my opinion. Now, I'm saying here that the Democratic, leftist, liberals, whatever you want to call them there, seem to be reaching for straws here for votes, might you say, by becoming the party of the illegals, the party of welfare and food stamps and open borders, and basically, therefore, any policy that hastens the downfall of the U.S., in my opinion. That's what it seems like. Now, if you know, I've done some previous videos on Harris. In my reporting in the past, I talked about some of her lies, how she tried to seem more hip or appeal to a younger group, where she said that in college she smoked weed and listened to Snoop and Tupac. Well, she was in college and graduated before Snoop and Tupac were even rap artists. So she was clearly lying about that, and for whatever reason, but, I don't know how you can trust a candidate that would lie about something so blatant, so obviously disproven. And also, the most interesting thing about Harris, other than the fact that she's related to Jussie Smollett, and was part of she was likely the relative that was texting back and forth with Kim Fox, is that how Harris started her political career. Basically, she slept her way into those positions by being a mistress of married San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown. And he got her into some high-paying government positions there as a reward for being his mistress. And so from that point on, she's done whatever it took, I guess. I can't prove all the things she's done to get to where she is, but I can see how she started and, probably kept the same sort of MO along the way to get to the point where now she's a potential presidential candidate for 2020. So she definitely wouldn't have my vote, but, that's just the way I see it. The comment section is open, so you can comment whether you agree or disagree. More than willing to have a discussion about it. And so that's the story from my perspective, and I'll see you guys on the next one.